Hey everyone, so I had a comment today. Someone asked, is it possible to get back from where we are? Is it possible to create a system of equality and move away from all this corruption and greed that our current leaders have manifested on the planet? So I think the answer to that is unknown. No one can say for sure whether or not that's possible. We just don't know. But what I can say is, me as a person, is that somewhere inside me, when I think about continuing to live in a system that doesn't serve the whole of the planet, in a system where there's not a lack of resources, there's enough resources. The only lack that is on our planet at the moment is a lack of love in the hearts of the men and women who are stockpiling those resources. Earth can provide for everybody. It's just a fact. So there's no lack. I think most of you know I find regularly hungry children, the elderly, the most vulnerable members of society. I find them in lack. They have no medical care, no food. If it were true that that was a genuine lack, that it was boiling down to the earth not being able to provide for them, why am I able to put those things in front of them? It's not lack, it's misdistribution. It's, as I said, the only lack there is a lack of love. A lack of love in the hearts of people who have the ability to change it, but they don't. So with a lack of love comes an abundance of fear. This is the problem. So can we achieve a system of equality? I wouldn't be doing what I do if I didn't believe in me somewhere that that was possible. But the answer is a mixture of internal and external. So externally, it's very easy for someone like me to say that these extremely rich individuals on the planet that I mention regularly in my videos have the ability to change the planet. But what they don't have the ability to do, it would seem, is to find the love in them to do it. So it can be done, but it's up to those of us who feel the love and need for equality and feel the need to end the suffering. It's up to us to get out in the world and start showing those people what it can be like. Start leading by example. Because the more a person owns, the more it owns them. So that feeling that comes so naturally to some of us of wanting to love and to care and to make sure people are not suffering, it's absent from them. They don't have that feeling in them. It's absent. So for those among us who can already feel that, actions speak louder than words. So you need to push forward in the world and do physical things that is coming and fueled from that internal feeling, to make changes, to make people see, to make those among society who have that power but perhaps have too much fear to use the power to change things, to end suffering, to do the right thing. And I'm not saying all rich people are bad, because it's not the case. It's not the case. I understand. It's about connection. It's about our connection to spirit, to the universe. Because when you lack that connection, you very much believe that you're just a blob of intelligence on a rock, and that you need to control things to protect your loved ones, your family. And to do that you need money, because the system's all about money and resources. But I believe there's two ways to live life. There's that way. Or there's the way where you're dependent on the earth and you don't have the fear to be dependent and have faith. Boils down to faith. It doesn't have to be blind faith though. You can still prepare things to ensure that you're going to have a safe year, you know, like here in Tanzania, when they have a good harvest, they store maize and they know they're going to have a good year for food. They don't have much concern. Sometimes they might sell a little bit, so they have a little bit extra spare money to, most of the time, buy some technology, is what they do here, you know, like solar lights and stuff like this, if they do have a really good harvest. And I'm talking a torch here, I'm not talking rigging your house out with solar panels. But can we not transfer that into our Western system? Because I believe we can, and that is what I'm building right here in Tanzania. A community that's off the grid, using the traditional tribal beliefs of sharing and caring for one another within the community, within that tribe that it would have been all those years ago. And it will be supported by modern technology. So solar lights, modern methods of making sure and ensuring that water is clean and people aren't getting sick from the water. Farming practices that involve permaculture, which is ultimately the only way to go forward with it, I believe. We will never use chemicals on our farms here, on our shambas as they call them. Farm sounds so big to a Westerner. I'm not talking that like a huge farm like you see in the West that needs a tractor, yeah. So I can't say for sure if we're beyond the point of no return, and that the greed that we see on the planet and the corruption is too far gone and we'll never find a system of equality. But I can say I don't want to live on a planet, and I don't want the children that we support here to live on a planet where it's not a possibility that that can go away and that we can have a system of equality. And I don't want to live my life, even entertaining in my heart, that it's not possible if people all get together and start showing people, showing those, as I've said, without the love in their hearts to share and to fix the problems of the planet, that others have that in them for all they don't have anything, to show them the beauty of living life that way, how much richer you become. For having nothing, you become so rich, you become so attuned with everything, and amazing things happen. And then maybe several millionaires or billionaires around the planet will want to touch that feeling that they can see in the people that are leading that charge. And maybe they'll start to learn to give away their resources to those who need them immeasurably more than they need a few numbers in their bank account, so as they might sleep a little easier that night. Although in truth, it's very rare I meet extremely rich people who do rest easy. It's very rare I see that. Lots of people have commented on this. When they see the children in the school here, they have nothing, but they're laughing and they're joking and they're having so much fun. It's much, much different. Everyone's so happy, and it's different to a Western school. And I think it's because when you have nothing, you're more in line. You're more in tune with the present moment. And you understand and you have a relationship with the world, which is a lot less sterile than the one back in the West, where you walk down grey streets and you do the same routine every day. So can we evolve from a system of corruption and greed into one of equality? I don't know the answer, but what I do know is I don't want to live on a planet where I don't believe that that's a possibility. I don't want the children we support to live on a planet where the only future ahead of them is one of lack and of greed and suffering, while other people sit wealthy, believing they deserve it all, just because they were the ones who, as they say, the world is run by criminals, just the ones that got away with it, yeah. So, okay.
Imagine all the people living life for peace. And you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one.